Hey there, rulers, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the Brunhild Haiku list. Let's go ahead and jump right in.
This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, CCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for product, and FoulLibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists,
as well as our guest lecturer members Vite Ramen, King Pearlshine, and Mognite.
Class is in session.
So here you have the list. We are using Brunhild. You ultimately could also use Adam Sykehart for this, so you have access to like some quick cast runes and maybe some additional value from casting your utility runes, but ultimately we're playing Brunhild just because in general it's just kind of the better choice because of the fact of like when Brunhild flips, she can reanimate something like an Athena for some additional pressure to help kind of close out games. But this is the list. We'll go ahead and jump right in. We're playing 4 stone deck. We're playing 4 of the Wanderer Moon Stone, 4 Moonshades, and then 1 each of the White Black 4 Sea Stone and the White Green 4 Sea Stone. The 4 Sea Stones are pretty important in this deck because we're using Harvesting Season, so just some kind of additional value to be able to potentially make sure that we're milling a Pandora is super helpful. We've played Turbo Seal Brunhild before with this on the channel, so I'm not going to talk about that too much. The whole idea is you get Pandora to the grave really quickly, flip her, so then all of your like seal cards that have white on them are instantly live, being like Mysteries of Almerius to buy stuff back, number 13s for hard cancels, or Mysteries of Zero for some great board clear and spot removal. The additions to this deck is kind of twofold. One, we have the new Kaguya package, in the fact that we get to play Kaguya again, so we can kind of try to control the board state to a point where to close out the game, we try to hit our opponent while we have 5 Resonators, 5 cards in graveyard, and 7 stones, so that we can then just draw 7 cards, recover all our stones, and really kind of flood the board from there. And the other thing is we're playing this like Tea Party package, which is Tea Party and a package of the White Olympians, which gives again some additional flexibility to the deck, as well as some additional pressure that I didn't normally have before. Athena being able to do board clears and apply damage, keep yourself safe, Hera to be able to peek at your opponent's hand, and Aphrodite to be able to again draw some cards, give yourself some protection, and kind of bring back some life, because you're paying a lot of life with this deck with the Moonshade. So to go into kind of the other pieces of it, we have Chance of Tranquility. We keep 1 in the side in the rune deck and 2 in the sideboard or in the main deck, so that like we kind of want to save the 1 in the rune deck for when we're going to be going in with Kaguya. A lot of the times, because of how good spot removal has gotten in the day, you're not gonna like just always have access to Haiku. Like you're not going to be able to just be like, okay, started my turn, call stone, I'm at 7, I've got 5, we're good. So you're kind of wanting to be a little bit more tricksy with the Kaguya hits, where like you're going to swing in, you're just taking like 6 stones and a bunch of cards in graveyard and like 2 cards, you know, Kaguya and 1 other person on field. You go swing and your opponent's like, well, it's fine, I'll just take the damage. And then you go, cool, in response, Chance of Tranquility to ramp a stone and set up my graveyard, play a bunch of 1-drops. I'm at 5/7/5 to hit you. That's kind of the trick that you have to use right now a little bit and kind of control the deck from there. It's still very effective. I've done it multiple times in playing with the game, and it is usually kind of like the game when you successfully Haiku someone, but that's kind of how the way you get to Haiku is different. Going into the rest of the deck, we're playing a pretty standard control package, being 3 Lorites, 3 Dark Alices, 3 Fairer Spells, 3 number 13s, and then some spot removal and life gain coming from Lumias. And then the other kind of, and Witch of the Fallen Kingdom, not a super huge card in this matchup, but it's nice to have in this deck, but it's nice to have. And then lastly, we also are playing Windia. And Windia is really nice because she's also a human, so it increases the number of like good targets we have for our Anidano summon, which is just nice to be able to have there in case you missed the Pandora, because of just how good Windia can be in certain matchups. So that is the deck. I think there are definitely different ways to play this. You could play it more in a heavy green base with things like Planting Beans to not worry about your rune deck quite as much, or like use the rune deck to add more consistency to your deck in terms of like what we used to do with like Explore the Unknown and stuff like that. But this is the deck. Let us know how you've been trying to make Kaguya work, and we are excited to see that play out. You can find the link to this deck in the description down below, and until next time, this is DMO73 saying class dismissed.